Okay, so just to know my musical talent, I'm monotone, tone deaf, and I sing in the key of Z. So I have no talent, and yet within a few minutes, he had this whole room beating, and I call them bongo drums, and it's totally wrong. They're not bongo drums. Dave will explain it. So I didn't know what to call them. So I knew they weren't drums where you use sticks. And I knew Ricky Ricardo played bongo, so I knew it was the same thing, but he's gonna tell you that I'm totally wrong. But anyway, we had so much fun, and reading more about it after I went, it's good for your brain activity, it's good for stress relief, like you can bang these drums and get rid of your stress, which, some of us have right now. So I'm going to introduce Dave and his wife Cheryl, and Dave will give us a little explanation, and if I could do it, anyone could do this, okay? I know, no, Judy, I'm telling you. So, if someone, okay, Dave?
She's sowing seeds of doubt, right? Trust me, if you're here, you have a heartbeat. If you have a heartbeat, you have your internal rhythm. So you were born with it. And if you really think about it, studies show you actually, you lived with your mom's heartbeat for roughly 9 months. And you became synchronized to her. If your mom was stressed, the fetus felt a little stressed too, it's probably why that kicking, right? Maybe kicking was the earliest sign of a drummer. How do we know? So I've been drumming since 1997 when I had a backyard garden party. I had built a shed, I was all excited, put a little clear roof on it, I was gonna do solar this and and tear down the old rusty one. And I invited my friends. Some of them had a drum or a shaker or a maraca or something, but a couple friends had some congas and these drums, which are called djembe. Think of like a gemstone, but D-J-E-M-B-E, djembe.
It's a good Scrabble word that no one would ever get.
And you get a J and a D, a lot of points on that.
Yeah.
So it looks kind of like a goblet. You think about it, you pick it up for Seder, Anyway, the smaller drums are also djembes, but if you were to put it under your arm and play it Mediterranean or Arabic from Turkey or somewhere, then it becomes a doumbek or a darbuka. Same drum, different name, different function. The two-headed drum that you have there can be played with hands, usually played with sticks, is part of the dunumba family. You have the kenkene, which is the little one, the sangba, which is the middle one that she has, and then the bass would be the dun.
We're talking about Carolyn.
So the one that Carolyn is standing by,
Okay.
curtain number 3. And then over here to our right, this one that looks kind of like a megaphone is an ashiko. And originally these drums did not have rope. They would have taken that goat, would have stretched it, would have pegged it, and used fire and tightening with the pegs to try to keep it a little crudely. This was developed in the 60s, and it was one person who happened to probably be watching somebody do macrame or something like a dream catcher where they saw something get tight and realized that there was a better way to do it. They used this same rope on boats, similar, for pulling and tightening. So this system completely revised African music at a time that music was becoming more international. So you had people in the early 60s, a man who died not that long ago in my lifetime, Babatunde Olatunji, came with his drums from Passion, and he brought music. We were getting influences from Cuba. We were getting, the congas were becoming popular, like she mentioned, Desi Arnaz, Baba Louie. He brought his whole orchestra. And America, with the television and and the radio, were just fascinated. Samba came in the 60s. So we like to explore, even though we do some of our songs are African origin, that music went to Brazil, that went to Cuba and Haiti, and developed further by matching and mixing with the indigenous sounds of whatever was going on in those countries. So I'd like to introduce you now to Cheryl. Tell a little bit about yourself and your fun and.
So I started drumming when I went to a women's conference about 20 years ago with Ubaka Hill, who was going to be at our festival in May, okay? And then I dropped it because my children were basically growing up and I didn't have enough time and stuff. And then I circled back into drumming as I got actually older. But I mean, first of all, I'm mostly deaf, so you guys should know that. And it doesn't really affect my drumming because I can hear the beat. Okay.
Feel it.
But I grew up in Flushing, New York, at a time in the 60s where you would go down to Central Park and listen to Simon and Garfunkel and some very famous people who would just play in the park so that they would have an experience and stuff. So, you know, and this is home to me. I teach Kabbalah and I'm Jewish and I grew up in temples and Flushing Temple actually. So this is a great environment. One thing you should know is that there's drumming groups all over the world, including Israel, and other countries. And one of the things that we do when we do travel is visit other groups, and we haven't been traveling in other countries for COVID, but you know, wherever we go, we literally, whatever state we're in, wherever we go, there's a drum group somewhere, there's a drum circle.
Yeah.
And knowing that there is a cohesiveness between people, and drumming doesn't have the words behind it, so it just has the heartbeat and the rhythm behind it, and that is a connection that is worldwide. So it's important.
Beautiful. It's
Anyway,
very
I
true.
love
Music is its own language, and like she said, you can go, and we could have 10 different languages spoken here, but we could all come together with the drum. So thank you for that, and thank you for inviting us.
Thank you for coming.
All right, thank you. You know, it's an
We're
honor to be here. We are, when we go out drumming, we're known as Earth Movers Drum Collective, which is part of our nonprofit, Touch Mother Earth, touchmotherearth.org. You can find out. Our mission came to us during COVID. We had just gotten married. We were down in Florida on a honeymoon, and the quarantine hit. We had our drums with us, and we went out in the parks, and we filmed ourselves. We went live on Facebook. We started a YouTube channel, and we brought our music, and we did cooking show. She did a healing. We did different things live, and then put it on Facebook, and then put it on YouTube, so people felt a connection, because there was a lot of loss there, a lot of that we couldn't meet. So we're going to start off with a couple beats, and then we're going to jump right in. So I'm a lefty. Anybody here who is not a lefty, I'm your mirror. Cheryl will also be playing lefty, although she's right-handed. Part of the fun. We do not use our thumbs. Just the palm of our hand will give us a nice bass tone. You can use one of the sticks right in the center. We're jumping right in. I'm going to switch to the other hand right now and go. I'm going to do both hands together and sing and just like a minor little hiccup, right? Now, very good, very good. Couple of things. First of all, you guys lined right up. So that's a good sign. I feel the energy's here. So let's maximize and not get hurt. So a couple things. Rings will make your fingers swell. It can also damage the drum. So if you could put them off, maybe put them around the necklace, a safe pocket. I don't want you to lose them. Tie them to your shoelaces. If it doesn't come off, you're okay. Just be careful when you're around the rim, because you really could hurt. Don't go wailing. So we're good with that. And then the second thing is we want to get the best sound out. So listen to, you might go, well, how is he getting all that sound? Oh, we gotta let the sound out of the bottom. That's the important part. And then keep that bottom and tuck it under the chair. Now you might say, well, it's going to fall over. Well, think about it like a seesaw, and just have it, pick the spot where it comes right to you, and then you can hug it with your cheeks, your thighs. You can use your feet. If you're a yoga person, you could do the drum yoga pose. You got that option.
So the bottom cannot touch the floor, part of the
No,
bottom.
the bottom part. If you have a short drum, you can lift it up.
And
Yeah,
this
she's
is
lifting hers up.
economically correct, too. So you
Okay,
want
so if you have a big one.
Take a look at what I've got here. My arm is right in line with it. That would be ideal. A little closer, a little further is okay.
Okay.
We don't really work the shoulders. Everything is a hinge. This is the easiest hinge to work. It doesn't take as much work as like this. I'm not scooping out some. Look at that. Now we picked up the drums. Listen to the difference. Resonate right through you. We're getting faster. The earth is our mother. We must take care of her. The earth is our mother. We must take care of her. Hey yana oh yana, hey yan yan. Hey yana oh yana, hey yan yan. Have a nice Native American beat. That's why I head all around. With every breath we take, the sky that is all around. With every breath we take. Hey yana oh yana, hey yan yan. Hey yana oh yana, hey yan yan. Hey yana oh yana, hey yan yan. You want to try it? Go ahead. Three, two, one, and stop. Excellent. Give yourselves a hand. And check it out. We didn't do any warm up. Most of you have. By the way, who here has never drummed before? What were we just doing? I got you on that one. I set you up. So you passed the test, right? We're all alive. We made it. So the second part, let's make a V with our hand, and then pull it out until our hinge, our knuckles line up. Usually the pads are right around the rim. And if you were to watch what I do, or what she does in slow motion, the hand comes up, and this part is like our string. So all I did was hit it. The fingers went down by themselves. Very good. Beautiful. Now let's put them all together. EKG test before we started, and right now, a couple things we'll notice. Our heart rate did go up, but we also noticed that our heart rates started aligning. Our breath started aligning. The music will draw our autonomous things we don't think about, breathing, swallowing, etc., and put us in sync. And that is one of the beauties. When you go to cultures, they don't drum for 30 or 40 minutes. That would just be one song, you know? And then they go into something else. If it's a ceremony, it could last hours, all day, into the night. They become accustomed to it. They sleep to it. They can, you know? It's very good, and something like she said in the studies, it can ward off dementia, amnesia, Alzheimer's, people with Parkinson's. They shake, they get to the drum, they play. You take that energy and reorient it into something positive, something that's healing. How does everybody feel now?
Good, yeah.
Ready to go?
Yeah.
Notice I just taught you the parts, and yet we've already done 2 songs. So, let's see here. She mentioned flushing. Oh no, we'll get to that in a moment. We like to do a welcome song, because in Liberia, the drummers would go, and they would be the first ones to go to the next village, send off their lead drummers to find out if it was time to trade. So let's learn the drum part to this song. So we're going to do bass, bass, do that. And we also are going to do cool. I'm going to put them together. So let's do it in the 2.
Go slow, go slow.
Yeah.
Slow,
So
slow.
bass. That's the first part. That was good. Actually, you guys, so once and 3 times. Once in the center and 3 out. And you know what? We're going to build it up note by note. So, we got the first part. We're going to add a note each time. So, let me go through once. Try that. Alright. Nice. One, 3 of them, and 2. And we just have one more note to add. So let me go through it once.
Do that last one.
Ooh. So, what's interesting in American music and rock and roll, we're used to everything being with a constant pulse. In the disco has a little more fluidity. One of the reasons that jazz came out of this. So the funny thing is, in the rhythm, you're hearing go, 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 do, stop, go, do, da, da, go, da, 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 do, da, da. Oh. Hey. Now that we move to the intermediate class.
You have to understand, you just tested Alzheimer's and the brain just like
You just added 15 minutes to your life. So that was a little lot. We jumped right in, literally. Let's slow down. And I'm going to take that cue, speaking of Flushing and Simon Garfunkel. Ba-dum, ba-dum, slow down. They turned the heat up in here, or is it just me?
I was gonna tell you.
Must be that clock.
Now they just don't
Mm.
Yeah, with the seeds and the microbes and
You get different sounds.
You
So,
were also going
Right?
this way. You were also going.
well, I'm gonna move a little more. I showed you two positions so far, but she brought up a good question. If you just listen to the nuances from the center all the way out, I'm gonna go through one cycle. All wood, right? A little bit of skin. Brave drum sound. Go ahead, little chicken, little lady, roll out on her down. Hey, little cry, little chicken, little lady, hard rolling. So, nice, right? Now, a two-headed drum will operate a little bit different. A conga, which is a much tighter head, is more palm and subtle tones. But they're all good because together they're all part of the orchestra, which really is. And she mentioned that she studied from Baca Hill. Baca Hill is up in Kingston, New York, and runs a all women's circle drum song. And she's got people who have minimal to some experience in drumming. She gets them all to learn 2 to 3 parts in one song together. And then she kind of conducts it and drums to it. It's wonderful. And we will be having her in May come to, so you can see us afterwards for that. People inspire us. We listen to other music from other countries. We write back and forth and share songs. And, learn, like, music is used differently in other cultures. In Africa, it is part of the daily regimen of life. If you're grinding seed in a mill, it's not you making it for your family. It might be you, your mom, and your sister making it for your larger family. And 3 people would be doing it together. So you might have smash, cha, cha, smash, cha, cha, smash, cha, cha. 3 people in succession making one sound and singing to it and bringing joy to what could be a mundane life, but actually enjoying that part of it. So let's learn our third part, and let's go in some more music around the world. So we had bass, tone, right? We're gonna open our fingers, I call it hot stove. A peely, hollow sound. Very good. Listen to the 3 together. Now, hard to hear yourself unless you're together at the same
Yeah,
time.
what was the difference between the second finger closed one and
Alright.
this?
So fingers closed versus fingers open. It changes the sound. It's not an easy thing to do. If you don't accomplish it, don't worry if you're doing the same 2 notes or if you don't hear the difference. Closed, open, closed, open. Good. Right. Yeah, ready. So this is going to be your fun part. We're going to take a little trip. I know it's raining out there, so we're going to go somewhere warm. Maybe we'll hit Mexico, and then we'll go down to somewhere in South America. Yeah, we'll see where we go. Hey! Give yourself a really nice hand. Yes, we have a question over here.
No question. This reminds me of Ricky Ricardo.
Sure, sure.
I remember with the bubbaloo.
Yeah.
That's
We
why
brought-
I call them Congo drums, and you don't, it's totally wrong.
Yeah.
But that's, amazing, because like you said, I mean, how many episodes of I Love Lucy did we hear Latin music in the opening and closing? And sometimes he was featured. You would have his whole orchestra
Oh, yeah.
here,
And even his little son did.
Little Ricky.
Oh, Desi.
right? All born into it. So, you want to stay on vacation? Want to stay on vacation? Well, we could do, this is a samba. We didn't know it was a samba unless you were into samba music, but you probably recognized it as the theme song for the TV show Genie. Ba ba da da ba da ba 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 da da ba da ba 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 da 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 ba da ba 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 da da do jigaboo jigaboo Now, don't worry about what I'm playing. Play from your heart, because if you just want to go. That was fun. Now, if you were to score that music and look at it compared to rock and roll or something, it's a very different structure. And it's got some give and some take and some tug. A lot of music that we like, it kind of has that sort of infectious feeling, like feeling groovy. It's an American song, but it's got that flavor of kind of universal.
Is there such a thing as sheet music to whatever?
There is, and a lot of it is documented in, instead of seeing it as notes going up and down on the chart, it's still got the time sequence, but it would say, it might even be marked BTS, bass, tone, strike, bass, tone, strike, so you know which notes you're playing. And then it would also alternate to tell you if it's the left hand or the right hand. Because you learn the patterns, you want to learn the proper way so you can, when you're going at full speed, you're not tripping over each other. So while we're out here, let's see, I think we're gonna stay away from the US. Let's go to Africa. We're gonna go back to Africa. We're gonna go to South Africa. I first heard this song from Pete Seeger. Some of you may have heard it from the Tokens. You may have heard Robert John sing it. You might have heard it from one of the original sources who brought it to us, who was Miriam Makeba, who was a famous folk singer and was exiled from South Africa for being an early and activist against apartheid. And she and her husband, Hugh Masekela, were not allowed to go back until many, many years later. Paul Simon, when he went to visit, he decided to record in South Africa. He met Miriam and Hugh. They were allowed to come for that. They recorded. They did a tour all around. So this is. Now, if you're a lady and you know the high part, You'll notice that some of the songs we do are songs that we've heard. We've heard them more than once. So it's fun because people say I don't have rhythm over here. But we've grown up with songs that, you know, we may have owned. I had that song on a 45, Robert John. I still have it in my collection. So, you know, we're here in a temple. We should.
Yes.
We're in a temple. Actually we could.
Play something to dance.
Anybody else want to dance? About the drum, but just using that pa. So Cheryl did a study. If we go drumming together and she leaves her phone on the table, she's got one of those little things that shows how many steps she's taken. And she's like, what? Only 500 steps? If she puts it on while she's dancing, 10,000 steps!
It's true.
Basically, the app that tells you what you're walking. It's like, if I wear it dancing, I was like, okay, did my 2 miles.
That's right.
That's good.
How's everybody feeling? Pushing you to the limit, you feeling good? Right, there's a certain natural uplift, similar to the jogger's high. They get, you can go into a trance state. We go to some circles, and all of a sudden 45 minutes have gone by from the time you started. one continuous song. It might go through some changes. Like we went up, we went down,
At some point, you should feel my hands. When you drum, what happens is the dead skin comes off of it, and it keeps your hands smooth constantly, no matter what your age is.
Good to know.
Alright, so this next one we're going to show you. We won't show everything because we want you to also be in the moment, but this is a good one. What did I do there? When I get out, I hit the two hands, but not at the exact same moment, just a hair different. And it gives it a flange or chorus. So if I did it together, you would hear, if I did it like this, it's a little thicker.
Yeah.
And on the slap, I wrote it fingers. So it's close, 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 slap, slap. have no idea what time it is. We're good? We want to go some more? You got?
2:10.
Let's,
Loud.
I just wanted to say, I told Dave that when we've been in Sarasota, Florida, they have a drummers circle on Sunday nights at the beach, and they're drumming down to the sunset. And there are hundreds of people who come and watch, but there are also, less than 100 people who are drumming. And it's the most amazing thing. It just gives you such a feeling. They all dance, they do hula hoops, they do tumble salts, the kids get into it. It's really a happening. And he just told me about a place in Delray, because we're going to Florida.
we go down there.
Drummer circle.
We'll be there next week.
You can hire Carol.
Now,
I have got a question about Carol's playing the sticks also. Does she get the same sound? Does she have to do it differently?
well, in Guinea, in the French quarters, they would have a set of 3 drums, and each drummer would be assigned, and the 3 would work together to work the rhythmic part. So polyrhythm would be several people. So somebody might just be hitting the bass while somebody's going ba, 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 and then the higher part is dancing on top of that. When that was fine in your country, in your region, in your land, you're not traveling with these drums, which the original drums were very temperamental. They didn't have the stringing system, as I mentioned, and they had to be tuned up. You didn't have fire. You're on a stage, you're on a fire, right? And so when they started to tour, they did what they called ballet style. They would take these 3 drums and stack them, or put them side by side, and one person with 2 sticks would be playing a combination that was sort of like 3 people. Only one person traveling, 3 drums all together, a little easier. And but playing with the sticks for that style, for that particular, the 2-headed drums rarely use the hands, because it takes a little more effort. The second head is resonating, but it's keeping the air from coming out. There's one little hole around that drum.
And is there a different snare on the drums?
Well, there are different. If it's tuned accurately, the rim should sound the same all the way around, and then the center should have a separate tone. Well, try just the bass in the center.
Is the string what tunes?
Don't worry about the string.
No,
That's
but
just
is
for
that
care.
what tunes it?
You can hold that for the angle, yeah. And then go to the app. Yeah, not as much, because that drum's pretty tight.
It doesn't sound very.
Yeah, but on the bass tone, on the wider ones, you'll generally get 2. Now try it with your hand, and I'll bet you will get 2. Well, go just. And we think, by the way, if you want to try one of these other drums. Let's see. Yeah, there's not as much bass in that because it's a tighter drum. The 3 they work together, so instead of worrying about 2 sounds on one drum, and also each side can have a different sound. You know, you try this. Can you place it across your back? So you might have to hold and then try both there. Think like a marching band. And you could do sticks. Either one. Notice the difference. Now you can do the stick with one hand and a hand for the other. Now you'll get 2 tones. There you go. You get that. Pop it maybe just a little. Now what you could do, if you want to just trade a drum with your neighbor so you can experience, because they don't all sound the same. radio. Then dance to it at a wedding or something. So the parts are. So 4 and 3. Let's do it together. But I'm going to add in the second part, but it's almost identical. So. Second part. Hearing it. Good, good, good. Anybody have any idea what song might work to that rhythm? Don't worry about it. Now, sometimes I will tell the song first, because then the rhythm goes into your head. We did that. Shimmy, shimmy, cocoa pie. Everybody, wait a minute. Shimmy, shimmy, cocoa pie. Shimmy, shimmy, pie. Makes sense. I love you, come all day. Shimmy, shimmy, cocoa pie. Shimmy, shimmy, pie. Woo! Yeah. Again, we like to apply songs that have a broad appeal because those are the songs that are, the rhythm is already internalized, especially the nursery rhymes. You know, if I said, okay guys, we're gonna write on the board 3-4 time, that's a waltz, let's all do a waltz, remember what a waltz is? Everybody like, yeah, sort of, I can dance, we took some lessons, my husband and I 20 years ago, and all that. But we know it from nursery rhymes to market, or pussycat, pussycat, where have you been? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Pussycat, pussycat, where have you been? was 3/4 time, which if you doubled it 6/8 time, would be a common structure in African music. Cool like that. Cool like that. Feel the rhythm in your fingers against what you say. Cool like that. Cool, pull it back. Cool, pull back. Cool, pull back. Cool, pull back. Tone, bass, tone, tone, bass, tone, bass, bass, cool like that. And I'm not other people, and I look at their hands and.
Very nice.
And also you don't, in a real drum circle, there's either two things going. Either they're almost everybody playing the identical part, because you want that strength, like in a chorus singing, there's 4 parts, but they all are each singing within their group. You can't have everybody dancing at the same time being a lead, or they're tripping over each other. So you find the spaces, that valuable spaces where you can go, nobody else played right then, but I went, and it becomes the accent, which is why you have the cowbell, which is why you have 2 sticks, the claves, or, we had a shaker here. Anybody like to?
Oh, yeah.
Anybody wants to?
What do you?
All right, that sounded so good. We're gonna divide us into 2 groups. So everybody here is one side, and everybody over there is the other side. We've got a natural break. We'll work with that. So on our side, it's been a long week. Some of us work in an office, right? Too many papers, too much paperwork. That's the part. Too many papers, too much paperwork. And on our side, we don't worry about them. We're thinking about the weekend. Strawberry shortcake, peppermint pie. Strawberry shortcake, peppermint pie. Too many papers, too much paperwork. Strawberry shortcake, peppermint pie. Too many papers, too much paperwork. Strawberry shortcake, peppermint pie. So here's the part. Too many papers, too much paperwork. Thank you, everybody. Follow our mission to bring the outside in at touchmotherearth.org. We thank you.
Thank you.
Glad to be here. For Brandeis University.